Hi there. You're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our platforms. I am Mike Morales here in San Antonio, where we're sweltering in a heat wave. And that young man over there is.
Rick Levy in San Diego.
And Rick, we have the distinct pleasure of.
Hey, Mike, are you a music lover?
I am. I actually like. I kind of lean toward the funk, but I know that you lean toward rock,
Rock and roll, baby.
rock and roll. Um, we're gonna take a look at rock and roll platinum tequila at silver prices, is what they say. This is a real special 6 pack or 3 pack that they put together. I don't know if anybody can see this. It comes shrink wrapped, and you guys might see this in the stores. There's a At the moment that we're filming this, there's a viral video going on Instagram where this guy is at the liquor store and he's doing air guitar, and he's wailing away in the tequila aisle, looking rather silly. I feel like Tiny Tim. You remember Tiny Tim with the ukulele? Tiptoe through the Okay. Anyway, this is an interesting tequila. We have interviewed for Open Bar the master distiller of this tequila. He is also the master distiller for several other brands that are coming out. One that we have done, we have reviewed already, Don Sueños. One that had been dormant for a few years called Comisario, which is coming back now on the market and has actually won a couple of awards. So we're hoping to get those guys in before the end of the this year's season. But for now, I had a chance to talk with him extensively, and he told us about rock and roll. I had no idea he was the
So, what's
master.
his name, Mike?
His name is Jose Aceves. And hang on a second.
He and his brother operate a boutique shop designing tequila brands or
Yeah,
for private label brands. And
yeah.
I thought it was interesting. They work with multiple distilleries. They're not tied to one particular distillery.
He mentioned that in our interview that they have certain ones that they work with, and it really depends on the client. So if the client is looking for a certain flavor profile or a certain method or whatever, then that's when they decide and come together with which distillery they're going to work with. As a matter of fact, what is the distillery on this one? This
So
is a 100 milliliter bottle, so it's about the smallest that we can accept as samples.
yeah, so the Blanco we have comes from NOM 1529, Agaveros y Tequileros Unidos de los Altos. And they're in Rancho Pueblo Viejo between Zapotlanejo and Totoplan.
Okay. I have, just for the sake of transparency, I've talked and communicated with Jose for quite a while, for at least 5 to 8 years, off and on, and I was not aware that I was aware of several of his tequilas that I had previously. One that was just lovely called Mejor, which is now no longer on the market. But most of his stuff is double distilled. And I was really surprised that this is a triple distilled tequila. The only triple
Right.
distills we've ever had have come from La Cofradia, 1137, right? That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm kind of anxious to see what this is going to taste like. There's no guitar strings, but it's really cool. Now,
However, the full size bottle, the stopper, is what they call a roadie in rock and
a
roll
roadie.
lingo. But it's kind of like what we've seen with some other bottles where it's hollow and it holds a couple of shots in there.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's very clever. I actually, when these first came out, I thought they were a little cheesy, but it's clever. It really is clever. But I had no idea that the full size bottles were the stoppers were called roadies. I think that lends itself to cable pullers and stage managers. I think their cocktails should be named after all kinds of positions in the rock
Well, it's
and roll.
interesting. The partners behind this actually have some background in the music industry.
Well, not only that, um, I had read this a while back and had completely forgotten. I don't know if you can see that. That's Dan Marino.
Dan Marino,
That's Dan Marino, the ex Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins quarterback.
Yeah, and you may remember him from his memorable moments in Ace Ventura, one of my favorite movies. But yeah, he is an investor and a partner in the brand. And anyway, after our interview with Jose, when we taped the open bar, he was nice enough to contact the brand owners, and for our sipping off the cuff, and that's Scott Woolley. Is there one more besides Dan Marino? Because did Scott start this on his own?
Yeah, no, I believe the original founder was Andy Herbst.
Yeah, he's a surfer, soccer player. He came to the U.S. in the '60s from South Africa. Wow, music promoter. How do you go from like music promoter to Highlands of Jalisco? You know, and then there's Scott Woolley, who's the COO, and I think Dan Marino's came later on, maybe the last couple of years, I think. But I had no idea he's got like this he's got 62 locations of a restaurant in Florida and on the
Oh,
East
wow.
Coast. This guy's a restaurateur now. Besides, personality and I see him on on the NFL football programs that I tend to not watch very often. But anyway,
Well, and for Scott Woolley, he has a chain of gourmet grocery, wine, and spirit stores under his Woolley's name, but he's also a TV producer as well. He's produced a couple of live rock concerts for TV, but
okay.
he was also the executive producer of William Shatner's Gonzo Ballet. So I had to get that in. Sorry, Scott.
Oh no! That's cool. That's amazing. So these guys come from a varied background, and that's what tequila tends to do. I always like to ask the question, how did you always get involved in tequila? And there's always some crazy, labyrinth of stories, and then boom, here they are all together. And I got to say that after having spoken with Jose and have had his tequilas previously, I'm really impressed with the way these guys chose their master distiller, and I'm really, really hoping that this turns out to be a winner. I'm anxious because everything I've had up until now from Jose or his brother has been double distilled. So this is my first triple distilled, and I think we need to pour some in the Stasel Jarrito tumbler. And y'all probably know by now it doesn't take a whole lot of samples to get anything from a bottle with this jarrito, and it's clean. I mean it's bright. How's your lighting it where you are? Can you see that? Do you see any?
My lighting's pretty soft right here, but it's nice, clear, and bright.
It's got some nice legs and tears on that. Really pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's beating up really nicely. There we go.
Not too thick, not too slick.
No, it's just perfect. Oh,
It's got a soft nose, very pleasant.
I'm getting fruit. I got fruity, agave fruit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they apparently they're sourcing the agaves from Aceve's family fields in the Highlands.
Yes. Yeah, he told me that in the interview, and by the time this review comes out, the open bar may or may not have already been scheduled. But um, the first place they always go to is the family farms, and then depending on what they're looking to do with the flavor profile, then they'll go out on the open market and source agave from other growers that they have a relationship with. So it's not. Um, I would have to say that they don't. They're they're not in a, they're not mass producing a lot. They're just covering the brands that they're responsible for. Um, and like I said, it's really interesting because I think Jose has at this point has got he's done the hat trick very much like Felipe Camarena, because now he has Dos Sueños, which is he's responsible for, as well as Rock and Roll, which has been out for a while, and then the resurgence of the brand Comisario. And he was also telling me of another brand that we're hoping will one day send us samples, and that was called Penta. But that was a more of an extra añejo, and we didn't get the sample here, but Rock and Roll just came out with a Cristalino, and I asked Jose about that.
Cristalino Añejo.
A Cristalino Añejo. So you'll have to watch the interview. We did not receive that sample. Just the only thing we got was this the Blanco and one that we do later on. That's a licor de mango.
Yeah, so it's a soft nose. It's not big. It's very nice though.
It's citrusy. Are we getting some citrus?
Yeah, some citrus. It's not surprising. Considering it's Highlands agave, triple distilled. So that could be what's making the nose a bit softer.
And we're also using the Stossel. We're using the longer necked jarrito, which we have been using for tequilas. Although I like to play around with tequilas and mezcals, and because there's a short, stouter version that we also use. But I thought tonight I would want to see what this would be like coming out of a much longer neck or chimney. I'm really digging the citrus notes, though. It's really heavy on the citrus notes. And is it like a lime or a grapefruit?
Maybe more of a grapefruit.
Yeah, it's not and it's not even a zest. No, I'll take that back. It's not an oil. It is a zest. But you're right. I think I'm getting more like a grapefruit zest, if that's even possible. Wow, that's
and then I get what I usually characterize as apple with the Highlands agaves.
Did you take a whiff in the middle?
What are you getting?
Orange blossom. And this has to be part of the distillation process. I think that's the cause of the softer citrusy nose. Whereas some are the double distill that we have from the Highlands will have that lime oil or lime zest. This one doesn't. This one has like you said, the grapefruit. But if I go in the center, it's almost like an orange, like a real faint orange. I don't know. Maybe I'm making this up, but it's right in the center. I'm not getting alcohol either.
Yeah, it's really inviting. It's not I don't think anyone would be put off by this.
Oh,
It would
no.
be really, really enticing to, someone new to tequila or, an aficionado if you're in the mood for something softer.
Well, let's see what it tastes like.
Shall we go in?
Yeah, let's go in. Boom.
Yeah.
For the palate, just went boom.
Yeah. It enters soft and light. Not a lot going on right at the beginning. You get some of those mild flavors, and then you get this explosion of pepper on that mid palate.
Mid palate, and it's got a nice long, medium to long finish. It's got a nice warm fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Gives you a little tingle going down without a burn.
Yes.
Nice.
The title of the information that we got, of course, it's a kind of a I'll call it a press release. It's presenting the Serve Loud handcrafted ultra premium brand platinum tequila at silver pricing. But I like the idea of the Serve Loud because it just popped right in the mid palate, right where it was supposed to.
Yeah.
Did you taste it like was it sweet for you on the intake on that first one?
A little bit.
Just up front, right?
Yeah. It's not, I wouldn't classify it as a sweet tequila, but, there's a little bit of baked agave sweetness there.
This is, what's interesting is that the flavor profile is really much more, okay, I'll just use their wording. It's much more louder than the nose. The nose was very subtle and very pleasant. It's like double faceted.
Yeah. I find that the flavor matches the nose. It's really the finish that is the big.
Well, yeah, the mid palate, yeah.
The encore.
The encore. Should we put a lighter up? Ask him to do the encore. Wow. So
yeah, for me, the finish is probably the most enjoyable of the three main facets here.
I like this.
The nose is inviting. It's nothing that jumps out at you though, but it's well crafted, subtle.
It's rather tame.
Mm.
It's like the nose is the opening act, and then and then here comes Kiss, right? Kiss, boom, and wow, I like this. This is really different. It's not, you and I have had just about every triple distilled Blanco that comes out of a La Cofradia from whatever flavor profile. We even had a couple that were double distilled, which from La Cofradia. But this is my first triple distilled from Jose, from his hand, and I wonder if that's on purpose. Maybe next time I talk to him, I'll have to ask him if it's on purpose that the nose belies the flavor profile, because the nose is very, very, very easy going. But I think it'd be a great mixer, don't you?
Sure. Yeah, you could do any number of things with this.
Well, you know what? Let's. Does it go? I'm not sure if the information here says. Let's see here. Pure Highlands agave, and yeah, there's not much as to the process. I know, having spoken to Jose, they Of course, they don't use a diffuser. That's
Yeah.
like,
Well, at 1529, they have autoclave, roller mill, stainless steel fermentation vats, copper pot stills, and then they triple distilled it.
wow. So this is triple distilled from a copper pot. That's interesting. Most tequilas I've had, if they're triple distilled, they come out of a stainless steel, alembic type of distillery. But um, that's a really interesting. There's a lot of little moving pieces in there that you might miss. If you don't spend time with it. If I think that'd be great in a Paloma. Honestly,
Yeah.
really refreshing.
I would really be careful of doing anything that will adulterate the finish, because the finish on this is really enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. This is really nice. There's a lot going on in there. It's not the isn't that always the case though? You get a tequila with a name like rock and roll, and it turns out that it's actually a really decent sipper, and we know that it is going to be really great in a cocktail. We know that, but it's really a great sipper. Now they're little they're award winners. I guess they've won, they come. I don't know if you saw this or not, but we get these little, on the back you get all these recipes. So there, a lot of these, the 3 recipes that they have on the backstage mango, Stone's Tequila Sunrise, right? That's made with the Cristalino, but the platinum margarita is your regular margarita recipe. I think that you could do more with this tequila, though. I think the versatility.
Yeah, my preference with this would be to put it in something more, alcohol forward, like a martini. Where you're not mixing it with a bunch of juice, or or heavy liqueurs or something.
Yeah.
Just just a little to accent the flavor profile, but not adulterate the finish. Because I'm really enjoying the long pepper effect.
Yeah, me too.
On the finish.
It's really different. It's very unusual because you don't get a whole lot of that from a double distilled Highlands tequila. Usually the finishes are short to medium instead of medium to long like this one is. So, what do you think? You think it's a nominee? You think we should
Yeah. It's a well-crafted tequila. It deserves a nomination.
All right, cool beans. Yeah, I you know what? Don't let the name and the rah rah and all that, and the tongue in cheek, the tongue in cheek marketing that they do. Like I say, disregard the guy who's playing air guitar in the hallway. Okay, this is actually a really stand-up tequila, man. I'd love to get a full bottle just to see if because every time we get one of these that self pours, I always get it all over myself. I've never been able to, or all over the keyboard.
I still don't understand how those are supposed to work. It has to be like some very talented sleight of hand to get those stoppers to work. But so how about some pricing, Mike?
Yeah, tell me what the price is, because they've been around. They've been out for a while, so you tell me.
Yeah, actually, the Blanco, or the Platinum Silver, first hit the CRT's Marco lists back in July of 2013, and it's been at NOM 1529 the whole time. So it's been around about 5 years at least, as far as the CRT is concerned. The MSRP for a 750 bottle of the Platinum is $49.95. I found pricing online between $54.99 and $34.99.
Wow.
So,
At
but
34, it's a steal.
yeah, absolutely. So you could probably get it cheaper than the MSRP if you look around. They actually have some pretty decent distribution. They're at Total Wine, like 40 different Total Wine locations. In San Antonio, you have a chain called Don and Ben's, right?
Not sure.
Oh, all right.
Not
Well,
sure. It's been a long time since I've even had to go to a liquor store because all my stuff's up in the cupboard.
humble brag.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but they're huge in Florida. They're at 184 different places in Florida, 151 in Texas. After that, it's like Nevada, Oklahoma, and California.
wow.
So, if you're in
And
any of those states, you can probably find it. It's at Old Town. You can order it online. That's actually where they send people to from their website if somebody's looking to buy right away.
there you go. Well, see, that's so it's not necessarily. I wouldn't consider this a value tequila, like because of the pricing, because the pricing's all over the place. But certainly worth looking for. I would say if you can get it for like that between that $30 and $40 range, that's a steal, man. I
Yeah.
would drink that all day because
And if you like Avion, Casamigos, brands like that, you should definitely give this a try.
yeah, real tequila. Jeez, I'm still getting phone calls from from Randy and George. But anyway, uh, so that's our take. That's our review. Our take on Rock and Roll Platinum. That's a triple distilled tequila coming from the Highlands, and it is a Brand of Promise nominee in the Blanco category. So stick with us because now we're going to try something a little bit different, which I'll get into it in the next review. But anyway, it's kind of a change for Jose Aceves and for the for his book. But I'm kind of looking forward to tasting it. That's Rock and Roll Tequila. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. That gentleman over there is
Rick Levy in San Diego.
You've been watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our platforms. If you are out on YouTube, check that red button down there because we created the internet, and press that red button. We created that also. So press that red button. We'll be very happy with you. But whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.
I'm Mike Morales. I'm CEO of Tequila Aficionado Media, and I just wanted to thank you for watching Sipping Off the Cuff. We love doing these reviews for you. Now, if you're an Agave Spirits brand owner and you're watching this, there are 3 things that I'd like to talk to you about. Number 1, if you'd like us to review your Agave Spirit on Sipping Off the Cuff, just send me an email, mike@tequilaaficionado.com. It won't cost you a dime, and I promise you'll get an honest review. Number 2, if your brand has been nominated, past or present, as a brand of promise, we can help you promote your brand effectively and affordably over on the tequila PR side of things. Just email me, mike@tequilapr.com. And number 3, if your brand has ever been a Brand of Promise nominee or a winner, you automatically qualify with us, or to go with us on our next promotional tequila tour. So shoot me an email, tours@tequilaaficionado.com, and I'll send you all the details on our upcoming tequila tour. That's it. Thanks again for watching. Sip wisely.